So that way I can make sure I can live it on my end. Yeah. Okay. Hello and welcome everyone to Macross Shooting Insight. Before I start, I do want to explain something. Also, hi all. It's me, Mageius1. Anyway, before I get started, I do want to explain one major thing about this run. This run does allow for the lowest auto healing for reasons I will explain and showcase in a minute. As you can see up in the upper left-hand corner, just how low my health is, how much my assisted attack is. Right now, I'm showcasing this piece on very hard mode, just to explain something here. Now, I have played this stage perfectly, so I will probably be getting a double S rank. You can see how low my health is. This game really does not have a lot of healing as a whole. So, even playing perfectly and getting a double S rank here, this is all I get healing, the average amount per stage complete. And any death will put me back at the start of a stage, as I will hopefully be able to demonstrate here real quick. This will also include the DLC stage. The run will also include the DLC stage Remembrance Dimension. I know it's a long intro. It's da 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 da. This is also the latest game based off the Macross franchise. And as I said, I'm just trying to showcase something quick here. So don't expect it being perfect. This is just me trying to explain something. Ah, crap. Oh well, I guess that's enough for the explanation piece of it. Basically, if I had passed there, then I would have essentially gotten a... If I had made it to the next part and then died, I would have essentially started back at the beginning of that mission. Before starting, I do have to show that I have the default health and assist attack set there. and that the DLC is on. Gotta make sure of that one. As I said, we'll be using Shin, the hero of Macross 0. Also, one thing I found out the other day is, yes, you can adjust the music on that one in arcade mode, so gotta show that that's all on default. Anyway, we'll get... Oh, whoops, almost forgot the auto-healing, the lowest auto-healing. As you can clearly see, just like how much health and damage I take, and this run would not be possible in a true speedrun setting without it. In fact, very few people have beaten the game on very hard mode, with I think only one person did that, was with the DLC, and no, that was not me. However, I do hold the in-game leaderboard time, you know, for worldwide, for, not time, score for very hard mode without the DLC at completing 2 levels. Yay! Anyway, this will also include the dogfight section, which I will discuss once the main run is over, so let's get started in a 3, 2, 1, let's go. So we're going to start with everything on that one. Also, hi chat. I'll try to look down at you here and there, but I forgot to put chat up, so sorry about that. Anyway, we start off here with the first area. Shin is a bit more straightforward, has a bit more health, and in Macross terms, 0 is the most combat-focused of the actual series. Now, this being the latest game, it's also the very first game to be officially brought to the West. It is currently out on Steam right now, even though it is in Japanese and you would not have access to the DLC for the Steam version. Well, unless you want to go through all the things to allow yourself to be able to get into the Japanese region for that one. I am using the Switch version, with shoutouts to it having a true English version coming out later in the year for Switch, PS4, and PS5. As I said, it's already on PC, but you sadly won't get the DLC for it, since that is based off Remembrance Dimension, that based off of Do You Remember Love, which in order for the them to finally bring peace with that in Robotech, they had to give up that one to some degree, but also it is what it is there, and I'm not going to go there and explain all the years of details on that one. Anyway, we'll get to hear some of the idle music. This run sort of combines 3 different styles of gameplay that represent the 3 different modes of our Valkyrie: the fighter, the gear walk, aka the hybrid version, and the Battleoid. Hold on a minute, I'm playing like garbage here. Ah, crap. Well, this is early on, so I'll do the best I can. Anyway, we're now switching into a top-down section with twin stick. You notice that I'm using the twin sticks for a lot of the stuff, because that is how our missiles work. Slide over here, use this here. The one nice thing about it is that the missiles give us a full-blown area of effect style missile attack, similar to a full screen clear on a vertical shooter. I'll use the damage that I just took there to eat and tank the damage a little bit for it to be further along, but it is what it is, and I wish I had the higher shot value. As you can see in the upper right hand corner with those 2 little wheels, that is my shot value, how much damage I will do via that, which slowly depletes over time. We're using arcade mode here, because although arcade and story can both be used in a speedrun sense, arcade mode defaults the order and also affects something for the final mission, which is important to the speedrun. As I will explain when it gets to that one. We're going to align ourselves here, fire our missiles to actually screen clear, roll out of the way, and we're finished the first one. You saw me destroying jammers. That allows me to access the musical bonuses from the idols of the franchise. So we're going to line up here, finish off stage 1, and get to our first actual instance of a side-scrolling part of it. Or essentially, for me, the fact that it is what I am good at. I got my shmup background from doing a lot of side-scrolling ones. So, it is what it is there. story-wise, this is sort of that crossover where something happened, and a lot of the heroes from the different animes and OVAs come together to take out something and find out why they are stuck together. Normally, I would not swap and use a missile there, but yeah, health observation, which is one of the big things on that one. You notice me destroying those chests here and there. They just unlock the collect stuff, for the gallery. Not important, but gotta go for swag there. Anyway, you also see me use missiles a lot because they can be used in 360 degrees on that one, so essentially it helps with being able to target things and help getting rid of things. This is on top of Shin's normal rate of fire. You'll start to see the difference of that during the dogfight part of the actual run. Well, not so much run, but the showcase, I should state here. Move down here, down there, and as you can clearly see, just like the skill set from being good at horizontal shmups. The crystals that I am collecting are what allows me to maintain the high rate of fire and the stronger damage dealing. It also does increase the score multiplier, but that's a bit less important. You'll note that I do tend to try to line up towards the center of the screen before each transitional section. That's because it tends to force you to try to get to the center slightly before camera zoom in, so it's a little bit of a time save by doing that. And by little, I mean like it is useful, does save a tiny bit of time, though not as much as you would think, except in like some rare instances where the game literally does Mega Man 1 you, to where it tries to push you directly to the center, and you have to wait a full amount of time for that. Move there, swap there. You'll see me eventually at this stage get to level 5, and we're hoping to not ever drop that, because we really do want extra damage in that one while avoiding damage. Because although this game might look a bit easier, it certainly is not. So we'll line up here, and this will be our first battle in Battleoid mode. Well, boss battle, I should state. So we're going to fire, turn this way, up here. Nice thing is that some of the enemies' attacks don't have a hitbox. I don't know if that's the rate of the game or whatever, whether or not it's exclusive to the Switch version. I do not have the other versions. Note that the English version will also be out on December 6th, for those that are waiting on the game. We're on the line here, as you could clearly see, just like being able to dodge that attack completely. I don't know, as I said, if that's Switch exclusive or what have you, because of how, well, people tend to port Switch games. And you notice that it's the very lowest auto heal, which is essentially what the level of auto healing from when the game started. The game originally came out. There's only been one update really so far, and that was legitimately adding a second level because devs making it so that way they want to have you once you see the game in order to even put an in-game score. Sort of means it's a little harder for us mere mortals, which is one of the reasons why speedrun allows it. Anyway, we want to destroy these targets here, just like we did in the first stage. Want to align here. Do that there. Move here. Back up a little bit to avoid the attack, and then slide over and just get rid of that one. Nice for that beginning part. And now we're gonna take the second section here. This will be our first technically rival battle, because we'll be fighting one of the fellow pilots. Don't ask me for the story here, I have not read it. And Macross wise, the only part I have truly seen at present is the first part, which was through Robotech, and I still need to go through and watch the rest of it. Thank you, Disney Plus, for finally bringing the the rest of it to the West earlier this year. Anyway, want to move like this, slide up here, get rid of all the enemies, and multi-target there, so we can get rid of the enemy attacks. and avoid stuff like that. You'll notice that I'm not using the missiles despite them being a full screen clear. That is because we want to save those for bosses sometimes. And noticing that now we have a full 360-degree movement. Well, not so much 360, but full screen movement on that one. Fun fact, I am one of those Shmup players that uses a controller, so we'll do that there. That there, get rid of those there, use that there, clear out some enemies there, target that one there. Shin has limited missiles, but an okay range for auto-targeting. Well, not so much auto-targeting, but missile lock-on. Hopefully you're all also enjoying the amazing music. Don't worry, it's a game mechanic on that one. And also meant to help referencing the amazing battles from the show, with how important music is. So now we're going to start here by sliding over this way. Avoid that. Rotate a little bit. Rocking back and forth. Move there, roll there, roll there. Ah, looks like I got rid of them fast enough to where I didn't need the missile attack to get rid of some of the attacks. We're going to position right here. Roll out of the way, roll out of the way. Slide here. Roll, 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 roll. Eat the damage from that hit, so we can essentially just damage tank. Ah, got the somewhat thing on that one. Now we just need to wait, see which way they're going. Ah. I'll just burn a second charge of it. Ah. Mistimed that one, luckily. Not that much of a time loss. Just means you gotta take it out the third thing. Now, the faster we kill the enemies, the faster we kill the bosses, the less harder the game gets. The game rewards you for actually playing fast, because the bosses can seriously get into a lot harder phases, and because we are killing them faster, we don't have to deal with them as much. Positive note, for the speed run, has pointed out chat about this game, is actually very hard on that one. Anyway, we're at Attack of the Orions. These enemies here are not really Orions, but sort of drones from what I've been told. Also, fun fact, story-wise, although I can't explain all the other stuff within the franchise, I can at least still say that for Macross in and of itself, the whole way the part of it starts is basically humanity ends a global war in a single night by having a ship known as the Superdimensional Fortress. Macross eventually essentially crash land on Earth because World basically finds out, hey, we're not alone in this universe. We might want to stop fighting each other and figure out what's up with that. We slowly go up like this to slowly loop around the enemies and get rid of them to avoid most of the attacks. Grab a little bit of the extra things there. And again, centering so that way we get a quick transferal to the next section. And here's the first instance of the Gear Walk, or Guardian for those Robotech fans. Personally, I prefer either one, and for the longest time I couldn't pronounce Gear Walk, but I still say I do like Guardian as a name. And I might have to shut up for a minute to make sure I don't die here. So right here, rotate there, down here, slide there, line up there, use these here to get rid of the next things. Up here. I will note that one of the reasons why I even speedrun this is because, well, thank the anime speedrun communities, one of their anime speedrun festivals. Game came out basically a couple days before the latest event, and I'm like, I run Macross, they've got a new game coming out, it'll be the first in the West. Why don't I pick it up, learn how to actually pick up, Japanese games off the eShop, because I have a Japanese account. Thank you, needing cloud saves for some games. And essentially decided to learn it. Well, not so much to learn it, but be the first to root it. I want to get that one there because we do want the music. Also, fun fact about the franchise's legacy with music and whole idol culture. Want to pop that one there. They've had a lot of different supports for that one. This being the AI idol. A lot of position here. Well, AI in the sense of like semi-virtual on that one. Also, shout outs to Mid-May, who wanted the idol from the first franchise, the first anime, who became popular enough that that her character broke into the beginning of like the actual normal pop charts. Position here. Try not to take a hit. Roll, roll, roll for my life. Back up so I can do that there. Position up here. Grab those there. Now we'll need to avoid some attacks. So position here. This is that like, hey, we're going to launch a lot of projectiles at you. Now I could theoretically move closer or position myself better, but I am not going to try to actually use the right analog stick to do this kind of stuff during this type of attack, because I am not that crazy. I am not going to try to avoid all that. Use a second analog stick. We're trying to roll through every attack on that one just to get some extra damage in with missiles. I will gladly eat the small time loss here to avoid the attacks. I'll finish it, but barely. Well, I'm in Oko mode for the next beginning part of the stage. For stage 5. Luckily, a death will cause me to start at the beginning of the stage. However, it's with the same health, not a full health bar. So yeah, I'm going to have to burn a decent amount of resources to get through this. However, Everlasting Creation, the benefit of this one, and one of the reasons why I prefer this stage order versus everything early on that one, is this stage is a horizontal shmup at the beginning. Meaning, it is... I eat like the 2 stages that I am probably the worst at early on, but I get the ability to take the second part of it with a style that I am good at as a way to actually make sure that I don't die. So benefits to me on that one. Been a while since I've taken a real game over here, but either way, I'm not going to be able to submit this to the in-game leaderboards anyway via score because of the auto-healing. Quickly glance over to chat, move down here, up here, swap and do this there. Again, there's no real way to actually get really good healing. Thought I got rid of you. I'll burn that there because honestly, I'd rather take, the lack of missile, the lack of assist attack for the boss than dying. Because this boss is actually a bit easier than most. Luckily, I got enough of the being able to avoid the attacks. Still not sure if or if not that's intended to be a game mechanic with dodge rolling or what have you. But you do what you can on that one with this type of a game. I could get more people to understand just like what this, like how good of a game this is to speedrun. And one of the nice things about it is that with the rule set, it is very flexible as far as just like how people want to speedrun it. The only restrictions are basically you can't really use the extra... You can't really adjust health or the amount of attack or the amount of assist attack level. Although, feel free if anybody wants to run the game without using auto-healing. I'll still add it to the leaderboards. Still have to add a lot of the other characters, because the only other character I've got a run for is Satomi, and that's, well, his style works out well. I want to pop that there, angle there, line up there, down there, avoid the attack there. avoid that there, rotate around there, dodge there. I will note that with the way this game works, it does not center you out for a while, so any movement is essentially a true alignment, having to adjust where you are on screen. And luckily we are coming back up with near full health and full assist attack, so have to align ourselves up just here. Another battle in gear walk mode. Full screen attack on that one. Position right here. You want to hold off just slightly here before using the assist attack, so we can essentially save some assist attack. You could do it sooner, but I'd rather use it with the full screen clear to help with things on that one there. It wants that there, of course. Note that I am using some of this to help with screen clearing, not just for the extra damage. Positioned down here. Also, shoutouts to getting to hear some of Dynamite Explosion. Positioned here. Got the quick kill. Now to show something quick, if I was not directly centered, and I'll lose like a second here to show you this, it will slide you back to the center, and you will lose a couple seconds for the game to do that. To answer the question on that one, it is based off of character. It is based off of character, and I will be able to showcase that a bit more in the dogfight mode, where I will be... Well, the later half I'm going to be abusing the DLC character, which happens to be Rick, and it's his Do You Remember Love approach. Don't ask me to pronounce his Japanese name, I forget exactly how it is. But essentially his rival happens to be Max. Shoutouts to the rest of the franchise and the importance of Max with the Zentradi. And his wife on that one being the first of the 50-foot tall... Well, no, she's shrunk down to a micromian size. But shoutouts to his wife and the fact of being basically helping to showcase that love can conquer all. Even same thing with music, as Zentradi, the aliens from the first franchise, they were bred for war, if I recall correctly, and they only do war as their only thing. So when they arrived on Earth, they were 50 feet tall, attacked the planet when the Superdimensional Fortress run. Basically, the Macross started up its first day. After 10 years worth of humanity, reverse engineering, and things like that. And that's one of the reasons why the Battleoid mode exists, is to help fight them in that mode. But essentially what happened on that one is, they had to escape in a hyperspace fold, mixed out, took a chunk of the population there as well. And essentially, how best to say it, took a bunch of civilians with them by accident, had to, come up with ways to help with, helping with the civilian population, and when the Zentradi decided to shrink down and, so much, God, what's the term again? Investigate? No, it's not investigate, it is infiltrate, that's it. The ship in a smaller form, they learned about things like music, and they started to realize war was not the only way. One of the other reasons why I like Shin is because he reminds me of one of the hero from Robotech Battlecry, Jack, just because of the whole connection to Roy on that one, and shoutouts to me actually, being one of the people that helped Robotech Battlecry. I still prefer that over the PS2 Macross game. Sorry, Macross fans, but they did a better job of showcasing some of the different modes and actually having some good ground battles versus all of it being focused on stuff from around the show. So we're going to position ourselves here to avoid the attack here. Attack there. Roll there. Roll there. Roll there. Try not to eat a hit, but I guess I can just use the enemy attack. You want to get close to deal in a bit more damage faster, just because of the fact of where they are. We want to position here so that way we can avoid damage and set ourselves up to attack with avoiding the ship stuff. We're going to position here, wait here, do that there, move there, slide there. Missed the quick kill. I say quick kill on that one because if you can launch your missiles fast enough while attacking, you can manage to kill enemies before they... You can basically kill the enemy with the slightest little bit of health faster, so avoiding the last little bits of killing. It's a bit more precise and you have to time your assist attack to do it, but it does allow you to save a tiny bit of time. Sorry, y'all, having to clear the throat. But now, on what, stage 6? Ironically, this is where I would say this is the one stage where you actually get a little bit of healing. Although it turns out reading the actual descriptions for what each music does, turns out that it's not that, it just decreases the damage it would take immensely. However, I will also note this is one of my favorite tracks in the game because of that ability, and it's also one of the reasons why at present adjusting the song order to be customized in for arcade mode is at present it's banned just because it's just me on the run, and it'll change. It might change once more people once the English version comes out, because I know there's a lot more Macross fans that are just waiting for that rather than picking up the game in Japanese and having to deal with it like that. Anyway, we'll want to do this here, getting rid of all those there. Loop up here, move down here, go over here, try to avoid that attack there. Up here, fire there. Knock down there. Slide over here so we can avoid all the attacks there. Use our missiles to get rid of some of the enemies while we're avoiding things. Sometimes you can't notice if they're there. Again. I'll launch one of those to make sure I don't die. Strategic use of assist attacks is important in the run to sort of screen clear. We're going to slide over here. Roll a bit off screen so we can avoid the attacks. As I do not want to take a death, as where we are in the mission would be a pretty big time loss. Slide over here. Get the boost on that one. Roll here. Roll to get some of the attacks off screen. One of those things where, like, you could see it coming, but you couldn't avoid it, fast enough. Please don't die, mates. Please don't die. The reason why I like this is the jazzy style quotes. Come on. Just don't die. Just don't die. Don't die. Just in here. Pop that there. Move that there. This is like the longest boss battle in the game. Swap that there, use that there. Grab the crystals. So again, we want to try to maintain our full power on that one. Avoid that there. Avoid that there. Come on. Come on. I might die. And in this case, it's like I'm legitimately trying to buy time to get some auto healing back. Avoid that there. I'll line up here. Burned that too soon. I did say this game was hard, right? I did say this game was hard. I think I said this game actually was pretty hard. And the problem is that you really do not want to take a restart even though you have the ability to, because it's going to cost you more time. Want to position here, line up there, roll over that way, roll down, roll the attacks off screen. Because of where I was on screen, I could not really roll through those. I want to roll through all those, line up that way, roll up here, down here, keep on my toes, be able to actually dodge roll through stuff, roll all those there, quickly multi-target those by quickly flicking the analog stick. I wasn't joking when I stated that this game can be a bit frustrating as well. Roll through the attacks. This being one of the only stages that is a pure vertical shooter, and that being my weakest of the three styles that are on display here. Right over here, there, get rid of the just in the nick of time. Slide over here, up there, roll there, multi-target those. Essentially it is locking onto them with 4 missiles if you only see me able to hit 2 of them. That is essentially what it is. Roll up here, rolling to avoid most of the attacks. Get lucky with the song, just about there to decrease damage. Ick. Okay, lost a tiny bit of time there. Most of the estimate is, apart from the the dogfighter mode, the dogfight 1v1 thing, most of the estimate is going to essentially making sure I do not die. Pop that there. Avoid that there. Dodge the attacks. Dodge here, fire missiles here. Okay, there we go. Ah. Dodge there. Lead the attacks there. Align there so we can hit both of those there. Line over there. Rotate the right analog stick. Not joking when I say twin stick style for this section. I am having to dodge because currently the button I've got after dodge is A. Because normally, like, you can do it without moving some of the stuff, but with this it is a bit more of a pain. But it's why I like to say this part of the game, you're dancing with the game. Line up here. And we'll take care of that one. Whew. Only 2 deaths so far. not bad. Again, we want to line up center. See, chat got anything to say? Ah. That's something I actually did not know, chat, about bullets curving somewhat and adjusting momentum. And damn, I wish I had pulled up chat itself instead of having to try to look at it via my phone. But was more concerned about getting things ready and just had one of those brain fart moments. Sorry, all. Same thing with actually providing a link, you know, that like, hey, this is happening type moment with the rest of the stuff to a lot of the other discords. So I guess y'all get to see something special. Anyway, we'll line up here. One of the interesting things about this stage is that it is the first. It has one unique piece to this with a over-the-shoulder style approach using the gear walk for a section. I will note that I do have to update my tutorials for the boss fights for normal. For anybody looking to just play this game casually, I've got some. There's some better strategies to it, and I have found some smaller things to make it a bit easier and faster. And one thing I do have to admit is try to avoid attacks. Use your dodge roll. And as I said, each character does play slightly differently, and I will probably be showcasing that part during the dogfighter mode. Although, word of warning, do not expect me to play fair and have each of the characters fight their own rival. As I'm going to tell you this right now, the game lets me use whatever character I want, so I am going to essentially use the characters that are better suited for certain enemies. Case in point, Rick for almost the final 3. Because, here's a hint, he gave him a lot of missiles. And being able to do that is kinda good. Anyway, what we'll do here is let the enemies come close. We'll line up and use the targeting to be able to lock onto enemies faster. Roll around the speed of sound. But unlike we actually do have places to go, although we're not chasing rainbows. We'll roll there. Target that there. Try to not lose the actual maximum attack. It's a bit harder to keep locked on to this one because of the way this mode's actual perceived perspective is. So we want to do that there. I did use one of the assist attacks just so I can. I do have to say, this boss is my favorite in the game. I do have to say that. This boss is one of my favorites in the game. Well, I'll show ya. Because, well, while they're getting into place, I'm going to move up here. And then I'm going to launch an assist attack. Then we're going to aim down here. Fire that there, so that way we can avoid their attack there. Collect some of the crystals to keep up our shot attack. We're going to align ourselves right here. The closer we are, the more damage we could do. And that is how a quick kill should be. How it did not have to get rid of the last little bits of it. It takes some timing, but this boss is by far my favorite because it is, in my opinion, the is the fact that the enemies, being a full screen style boss, take damage from the entire assist attack, so they're a lot easier. And now we're on to, remember to mention, the DLC stage. So, looking at the timer, I've got a minute or two. I'm gonna try to give all the Macross fans out there a little treat. Although Min-Mei is shy as all heck, it takes Sia's the longest to set up her music. I will try to. Well, the second section is a section that I can actually eat a little bit of time to be able to try to help her get a little bit comfortable on the stage. Shoutouts to Do You Remember Love, where they projected her on a giant hologram in space. I do love one of my fellow speedrunners' description of this as one of the best examples of how Macross helped with creating the virtual idol idea because of that. And as someone pointed out, technically count Macross as part of the way Hatsune Miku got started. Well, not so much that started, but as far as just the general idea. So move like that there. That there. Try to avoid some of the attacks. And send her up again. Now, one of the other ways to get the idols, as you can see with the connection dig over there, is to essentially get rid of more enemies. The more enemies, the easier it is to get them. So we're going to clear out these enemies a bit more. Avoid those attacks there. Aim there. Aim here. As I said, I'm going to try to give you all some music from Do You Remember Love? Positive note is it does also give me a small chance to heal, but that's a side thing, because normally I would just be getting rid of the enemies as fast as I can. But, again, gotta give y'all, the fans, something that you kind of want. I mean, after all, it is an amazing piece of music. Get rid of all that there. Fire there. Launch that there to get rid of all the attacks there. Launch that there. We'll barely get a little bit if we're lucky, but even still, that's one of those where, like, you have to try to angle yourself around to get all of them and try to be close to the center to get rid of the things. Anyway, we're going to start by launching this. Align ourselves here. Get rid of all that there. Move here. Because they're not, since they're just going to fire some of those attacks there, we're just going to launch some attacks there. Now they'll come over to this corner here. Launch a giant wave of attacks, so we're just going to try to avoid all them. Little late than never in May. So now that they are finally done, we're going to use this and get rid of them. As I said, sadly we won't get much of Do You Remember Love, but it's better than nothing. As I said, I could have made this stage a bit faster, but I got a tiny bit of time to play with. And I wanted y'all to be able to get a little bit of Do You Remember Love. I mean, it is the DLC stage. And we're most likely not going to get it over here in the West. Now, Alluring Planet, aka we've made it to Earth, the stage based off of Macross 0. So we're going to start by doing this here. Angling there. Sliding over here. Angling that there. Slowly building up there to get rid of more enemies. Loop there. Again, using the missiles. Some characters live and die by the missiles. Some live and die by their attacks. And some, like Shin for example, require both skill sets. We'll line up here. Move there. Hit these there. Avoid the missiles there. Pop those there so we can essentially keep up the damage. Roll around. Move that there. Start with the satellites. Line ourselves just up so we can avoid some things. Ah! Well, that's more of me being dumb with movement. It happens, though. It really does happen every now and then, but overall, I tend to try to not have those things happen. It's been a while since I've done pure, very hard mode. Well, with the DLC, I should state. Because normally a speedrun does not really want to do the extra stages because extra stages and we want to go fast. Want to angle ourselves up here, quickly launch missiles there. As I said, you can hit multiple enemies with it. Want to align ourselves here. Come on, wait, just don't die. Ah! Want to toss my controller for this one because normally I should not be dying here. Again, this game is hard. This game is hard. Want to angle ourselves here. Line up here. Line over there. Angle there. Align there so that way we can drag some of the enemies off screen. Slide over here. Roll. There we go. Angle just so. Okay, there we go. Had one of those times where it's just like not playing as good as I should be moments, which all shmup players do have. There we go. Now we should be good. Line, 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 line. Normally I would want to be in the center to take out these enemies faster or closer to one side, but we made it through. Little fun fact about the enemies in the boss fights. Essentially, every boss fight, even once they're dead, you still have all the remaining projectiles on screen, still have a hitbox. So we're going to slide down here, align up here, essentially pepper the entire screen with attacks. So we can avoid everything. Hack. Come on, maids, don't screw up now. Gotta roll there quickly. I'm gonna shut up for now. I'm gonna shut up so I don't die. Because I do not want to die. Deep into a stage, you don't want to die. And since we've got the music, I can now safely use the assist attacks to some degree. That is because of this buff being essentially, if you take damage, you essentially get more. Essentially, its damage will power up your assist attack. And this is one of the only bosses where we have to do this style of fight. So we want to position here. Slide it over here. Wait for a tiny bit to actually align up perfectly to do that there. Now we want to essentially aim perfectly here. Wait for some of the missiles to come. Launch a second attack on that one, and we're through. And now we're approaching the last mission, which is based off of Macross shooting inside itself. I will note that part of my estimate goes towards this stage solely, which is essentially because it is the gauntlet stage. It is the stage where, like, it tests everything. It gives you a medley of more than 3 songs, depending on how long you take on the boss. Here's a hint: if we're doing this well, we will only get 3 songs. But this stage is also one of the reasons why I prefer arcade mode to story mode. Because the first 3 songs are locked in as 3 specific songs. It's just what order you get it. And here's a hint. We want something in a certain order. We want bonuses in a certain order. The second song will usually always be the defensive one. slash healing a little bit. But essentially, as I said, it does change a little bit, but you all get to hear some dynamite explosion. Thanks to the Firebombers, aka the big band from, I believe it is Macross 7? I could be wrong there. I think it's 7. I don't think it's plus. But essentially, one of the other groups that actually became famous outside of Macross. Shout out to them, to one of the random Google suggestions. Apparently they're finally releasing another album later in the year. But the refrain for this one is Dynamite, Dynamite Explosion. 1, 2, 3. When they get to that, feel free to shout that out in chat. Also, fun fact, the singer, well, not so much singer, but the one person in the background, the guy with glasses, if you've ever seen the gif of anime character eating leaf, that's from him. Go like that there, down here, line over there. Essentially, we can avoid a lot of the attacks here, but what we really want to avoid are the enemies that stick on screen. But here we go, all. Dynamite, 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 explosion, 1, 2, 3. Dynamite, 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 explosion, 1, 2, 3. Dynamite, 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 explosion once again. Right, dynamite, every night, every Anyway, we'll get through that one by doing some of the attacks off screen to basically avoid some of the stuff a bit easier. As it is a bit easier to avoid some of the attacks by dragging them towards the edges of the screen. Again, we get the damage reduction here. We want to avoid the attacks here. And go up here. Angle there. Avoid the attacks there. Go to position here because we'll get a few enemies here. Then we'll get a full screen, a lot of enemies on the screen. So we want to try to lock onto as many of them as we can. Angle this way. Loop around there. Angle there. Pull down there. Angle this way. Loop around up here to avoid most of the attacks. Angle down. And now we're into the second phase of the mission. So we want to set up here to get the first group of enemies here. Loop down here. Slowly slide down here. Pop the assist attack here. Use those full 360-degree movements to essentially avoid a lot of the attacks. So right now, if I was going for score, I would just purely care about missiles only, but we're going fast, not caring about the score. Slide over this way. Angle there. Slide there. Pop an assist attack so we don't die. Now then, this is the whole reason why I like using arcade mode, especially with Shin, is this piece of music right here. So just like Shin's, the idol from Shin's, from Macross 0, this one gives a very interesting ability, which is very useful for the final boss. We'll slide this way, this way, this way. Line up here. Ooh, almost missed one enemy there. So I'm going to say this right now. This will be a one cycle on the final stage, just because we did not need to take a death here. If we did take a death here, it would be a 5 to 6 minute time loss. And most of my estimate it literally goes to if I die twice on this boss, if I die twice on this stage, and then having to go through the entire stage again. This will also be a 1 cycle. And if you notice, we will take some damage. But we've got 2/3 of it. We'll get all those there. And I also might add time is coming up. This is the other reason why I love this piece of music. Any damage we take immediately goes to our assist attack. And I'll show that quickly, just to show what I mean. Because we're just going to use that one there to trivialize the final boss. Depending on the different mode, we might have a different final. We will have a different piece of final music. So in this case, having that ability just makes the final boss a bit easier. Time for the run is coming up in about time. 54, not bad. We still have the dogfight mode to go. So I am basically going to separate this out just for personal stuff on that one. So give me a sec to essentially divide that up. But as I said, we've beaten the main game. So going to stop that there for my own record. Start up again, because I want to make this easier for that one. Anyway, we're going to reset that out. Now, you may think, dogfight mode, what do you mean, mage? Well, the game has a 1v1 fights against your rivals. It is a rival battle thing against all the different characters here. Now, as I was saying earlier about each character having their own different style of shots, you can see just like how much lock-on they have and a lot of different stuff from each of the different franchises. We're going to use maybe one of them, well, 2 of them actually, but Shin does well for the first few. So I guess I'll get started for that one in a 3, 2, 1. So the nicest thing is you do also get to hear a bit more of the music. I'm gonna go here, get close. And as I said, some of them are from some of the actual missions, some of them aren't. But now at this point we just need to actually get through all of them as fast as possible. And hopefully I'll get good patterns. Roll here, use our actual missiles as well, because right now we don't really have the ability to get a full amount of attack power up. So we're just gonna do what we can to take care of the enemies as fast as possible. So we may not be able to get full shot power, but we're just gonna use what we can get to beat them all fast. Line up here, line down here. Okay, where are you going? Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, behind. And there's the first of them done. Now, essentially, this is... I haven't decided whether or not this would be a good, solid run or not, because the game does track in-game clear time on that one, so it would probably be like a level based on that one. No, I do not want to submit to the leaderboard, and if I didn't, even if I had the internet off, it would still try to ask me about that one. So now on to the next one. As I said, we will be using Shin for a few of these because he's a bit easier. And we will get to hear some of the music. And although other characters are a bit easier, it is a bit better to just use Shin for it. And pop an assist attack here because I do not want to deal with the giant ball of death that is that attack. Said I do not want to deal with that giant ball of death that is the attack there. Because mobile enemies are a pain in the ass in these type of games. Avoid the attack, roll there, line up there, and we're now done the second of them. Most of the estimate on this one comes from the possibility of dying and having to redo stuff like that one. And some of the attacks can be a bit harder. Although I will... got a tiny bit of time to play with here, so I guess we can show some of the other characters off. Like Satomi, for example. I will add one of the things I do not like about our character here. Oh, no, yes, it is him. Just to show you something quick on that one. No, wait, that won't show well enough. Let's just go with Satomi. Gotta show some love for the other franchises. Now, Satomi having a giant laser does, although you do take a lot more damage with him, the fact that I can do some of the stuff like this does actually make it a bit easier. That's why I say some of the characters are a bit easier to use. This is considered, basically, this is show-off mode. This is also what happens when you die. It is good, that one. It's also a fun game to actually speedrun, and as I said, in December. Whoops, did not want to save that. Comes out December 6th for the official English version with actual English text. It's already on PC if you want to not care, though. If you want the Switch version and everything else for the US and outside of Japan, that's December 6th. Mark it on your calendars and wishlist it now for the Switch, PS4, and PS5. Anyway, we're going to use that ability of those missiles to just essentially, like, dodge everything here. Roll around. Use Satomi's ungodly amount of missiles. You may not have a wide range, but when you're launching, like, a bunch of missiles anyway, it sort of doesn't matter as much. As I said, this is essentially, I put in the estimate for 20 minutes in case of a death or two to some of the enemies. But, I guess since we can, you know, I got a tiny bit of time on that one. Let's show off some of the characters. We have our spread attack person here, which, again, this is more of just having fun and showcasing some of the other sides and stuff. You may think, wow, a spread attack, that's gotta be good. It is on some things, but boss-wise, not so much. Especially when you have to avoid a lot of things and you don't have a lot of damage. As I said, this is more of just showcasing just like how each of the different characters handle things. I am not showing off some of the other ones. Good. Oh, oops. They're telling me I've got 5 minutes left, so give me a second. Hopefully I can do this quickly. I did not realize that one, so just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Because we want to get through all this. Okay. No more Mr. Nice Mage. Hopefully I don't go over. Okay. Hopefully I don't go over. Okay. We're just going to tease everything else. Because Rick has a lot of missiles. The most in the game. And we just want to abuse the hell out of them. So there's one. Okay, there's that one. No, we don't want to save this on that one. We got, it's 3 left, or is it 2 left? Come on, loads. Sometimes this game. Luckily, I should hopefully finish within that one. Because again, we're just gonna cheese this here. So I'm gonna be quiet to just be able to finish this off in time. So we're just purely gonna abuse missiles here. And assist attacks here. So there's 1, 2 left on that one, so there we go. Fighting against the clock here, so do excuse it on that one. Mash fast enough, though we don't want to save. Come on. There we go for that there. 2 left. This is where you can truly just see how much of the bullet hell stuff it can get to be if you do not let time, if you do not get stuff done fast. Come on now. Give me a good pattern down, please don't you screw it up for me. There we go. 1 left. Said this is why I divided it up on that one. Win! You also notice that I get to unlock more of the gallery for doing this. So we have 1 character left. One rival left, and that is Max. And if we're lucky, we'll beat this before Do You Remember Love starts, but most likely not. Again, Rick being the DLC character, we do get some benefits to it. We want to get as many missiles as we can in on him. Target him perfectly. Come on now. There we go. Yes! And that's time. Really haven't figured out a good stopping point for this one side of things, but hopefully it was nice enough to thank you all again for letting me showcase this one, just because it's kind of fun to show off just like all the little nuances within that one and just how fun some of the other stuff can be. Anyway, I guess they need to let me go so they can get more people on stage. If you want to follow me, twitch.tv/Mageius1 is where you'll usually find me. I do my best, stream where I can, but work and everything else. Do try to support Macross. Do try to check out like the franchise of itself, especially since it's now out in the US, well, and worldwide again. So I guess I will say bye for now, and hopefully you all enjoyed this. And we'll check out the game either now on PC or when it comes out in English on the 6th.